Today, I want to talk about a topic that really means a lot to me, and it's something that I went through a while back, and I had to get through it. And it's talking about starting over at the age of, I think I was 58, 59, maybe even 60 at the time. But after going through 22 years of marriage, I had to start over. Our marriage broke up. Like I said, it was 22 years, and so I had to get uh, a new place of staying. I had to have a new lifestyle. I had to get used to living alone. I had to get used to living life single. And I had to learn, like I said, just a whole new way of being and acting. And one thing is, I still had to show up. I still had to show up because I had coaching clients, and so I still had to show up for my women. I still had to motivate and inspire them in spite of what I was going through. And all the time I was asking myself, who am I to coach my women um, about living a dream life and being all of that, when I wasn't sure at the time just who I was. So I have my notes in because I want to stay on task, because I tend to run on and on. And this information could probably be more than one or two, uh, videos. But anyway, I just want you to know that self doubt, it doesn't mean that you stop. It doesn't mean that you stop all action. It means that you're going to have to start stretching yourself into the new version of what life is giving you right now. And a lot of times women will think that I'll move when I start to feel confident. When I start to feel confident, I'll start doing something. But the truth is, confidence is built when you start moving, not while you wait to become confident, but it's being built as you start moving. So, I want to talk about five steps to help you move through the self doubt. The first one is, you have to name that doubt. Don't let it, run the show. You have to name what it is. And for me, it was, I was afraid. I was afraid of living by myself. I was afraid of being in an apartment complex by myself, coming in at all times of the night, because my job had me out at night different times. And I was just afraid of sleeping and being in the house by myself because I hadn't done it for 22 years. So you have to name that doubt, because self-doubt, it gets louder when it's vague and when there's no name to it. So you have to say it. And so for me, I said it. I even said to myself, one day I was driving and it just came to me. I started feeling like a fake. I started feeling phony. I started feeling like, who am I just now? And I'm trying to tell these women that it's okay and that they need to live their dream life, when I felt like I was fake and I was phony. But I had to put a name on it. I had to tell myself what it is. Conchetta, is you're afraid. You're feeling like an imposter. You're feeling phony, and you have to move on. The next thing you have to do is you have to normalize that season that you're in. And for me, it was starting over my whole life at the age of, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was about 60 at the time. And it's not a setback. I had to stop looking at it as it being a setback, as me starting, over and not having accomplished anything. Yes, I was going to have a new identity, because I went from being a Mrs. to a Ms. I went from being a married woman to a single woman. And I had new routines, because now I only had myself to deal with. I didn't have to have, a husband, and I didn't have a family. It was just me. And then I had a whole new emotional landscape, which that's what you'll have when you're starting over. So remember, you're not behind, you are just rebuilding. So it's not a bad thing. You're rebuilding to something that works for you at this time. Number three, you want to show up before you feel ready. And like I said, this one was a big game changer, because I kept coaching. I kept my clients. I kept motivating and inspiring women. I spoke life into the other women, even as I was unsure of what my life was about. I kept motivating, kept inspiring, and kept just moving forward. So I didn't feel ready, a lot of the times, but I kept going. I didn't feel 100% ready. I didn't feel 100% confident, but I kept moving anyway. Next, I didn't wait for doubt to leave, because for the first few months, doubt was there. There were so many things I didn't know how to do, because at the time my ex had handled those things, and it was just so many things I hadn't had to do because, there was that other person. So I didn't wait for doubt to leave. I just kept going anyway. The fourth thing you want to do is you want to borrow confidence until yours catches up with where you are. So there was times that I had to lean on my past wins. I had to lean on the wins that I had, the things that I had done that had been successful, the things that I had done in my life that made me proud. I had to go back and pull those things forward. I had to lean in sometimes and lean on the women that I was actually coaching, listening to them, listening to their wins and their successes. I had to lean into that at times. And the most important part is my faith. My faith played such a big part in what I was going through at that time. When I thought that I couldn't do it, when I felt less than, I had to lean on my faith. And sometimes I just had to stand on what I knew was true, not what I actually felt at the moment. And I knew that I was going to get over that hurdle, even though there were times when I just didn't know what was going on and didn't know how it was going to happen. And then the last one that I want to talk about today is you have to allow life to surprise you. You have to be open. You have to be ready to accept what life brings you at the time. So I didn't just survive, that time or that season. I actually started thriving during that time and during that season. I actually found love again, which is a whole nother topic that we'll talk about, finding love after 60 and the ups, the downs, the goods, the bad. But I rebuilt my life. There are things that I did. I dated myself. There are things that I did at holidays, my first Thanksgiving by myself, my first Valentine's, and I'll share those things, like I said, at another time. But remember that self-doubt, it doesn't fully disappear, okay? And even famous women, even successful women say that there are times when they feel doubtful about themselves and they feel like imposters. So when these things happen to you, don't let yourself, just feel so bad about it. Don't let yourself think that I'm such a loser. Just realize that it's just another level. It's just a new part of life for you. Remember, like I said, the steps are, feel it. Feel what it is, name what it is. I'm afraid. I don't think I'm good enough. Feel it. Don't just sit there and let it take control of you. Name it. So feel it, feel the emotion, you're afraid, name it, and then move anyway. The worst thing that you can do is to sit and do nothing, to wait for that boost of confidence to come. It won't. You have to keep moving. That's it. That's the work. That's what you have to do. So if you're starting over, if you're rebuilding, if you're questioning yourself, hear me closely. You don't need to wait for confidence to come. You can't sit still and wait for it to find you, okay? You just need to take that step and then take the next step and then the next step. And before you know it, you're confident in that thing. Confidence will meet you right there where you are. So sisters, I hope you got something out of this conversation today. I will be sharing more as I'm doing more videos on this page. But if this touched you in any kind of way, if you know of another sister that would benefit from hearing this, or if you're benefiting, please make sure that you share. Have an amazing day, and till the next topic.